have had if he had played somewhere else, because
everyone. It's 9 o'clock. It is the 4th of May 2020. It's 9 o'clock in Scotland at least. Let's fade this out. Let's get our live screen on. Let's see what's going on. Boom. Hey. So let's see where we're at today. Yesterday we were looking at the GUI, and we were looking at how we could improve the GUI. We had GUI inspiration. We talked about different concepts of GUI, what we might use as our GUI, how we're going to save spending hours creating resources galore for our GUI. How can we make something that doesn't require thousands of art assets? We didn't really come up with a great answer. We came up with bit of an answer. So Callum is going to look at this, see what he can work out. In the meantime, I would like to look at the process of throwing our GUI into the screen in a 3D world. So I'm going to switch over to a bit of pen and pencil here. Actually, why on earth would you want to see my handwriting? Let's just turn this down a bit. We'll switch to something a bit more chilled. There we go. Right. What do we want on our GUI? GUI elements. You know what? Let's not use this. I bought an Affinity license for a reason. Let's use Affinity. If you don't know what Affinity is, just think Photoshop, but cheaper. And I am pretty good with Photoshop. I haven't got a clue how to use Affinity, but I am fed up with paying Adobe a monthly fee for every license. I just wanted an easy life, and Affinity offered me that. So one-off cost, pretty much the same functionality. Just got to learn to use a different software. So right, so there we go. Nice clean screen. Let's look at our GUI. So I like using graphic design software to plan out and organize things like this. So we have got our location, right? Is there any information about our location that we should be concerned about? I don't know. We've got our characters. Okay. What else have we got? We've got objects. We have got let's switch back here a sec. Whoop. Wow. Okay, that's not the one I wanted. Let's just close these down. We want to look at this one here. GUI elements. So, okay, so we've got, I'm going to want some form of PDA. Why do we want a PDA? Oops. PDA, what does a PDA provide us? It provides us with log, sort of clues and things like that. Comms, potentially. What else might it give us? Time of day. Super. What else might our PDA provide us? Let's get some health stats in here. Let's get let's go health for now. Want of a better word. Anything else? You could have other stats. I really like to look more at the stats side here. I'd like to look for some inspiration. Incidentally, there seems to be a problem with Restream today and Twitch. I've got some sort of Twitch API unauthorized error. Let me just double check that. So Restream chat API. So say again. Twitch API unauthorized. It is. Oh, well, that suddenly stopped working. Bit annoying. Don't know if there's something we can fix. Doesn't look like it. Restream is quite nice, but it's just a little bit flaky. Doesn't give us any options for chatting here. It just gives us an embed stream. So anyway, okay. Time-based events, TV turns on, but to add a PDA note, manually add a note. Interesting. Oh yeah, that's us. PDA can have an AI. Yeah, characters can contact you. So, okay, so other things that our GUI is going to want. Maybe the PDA will have like a maybe it will have the subtitles for conversation and options. Right, maybe that's the sort of mechanism that we have our conversations with. Got objects twice here because there was something I was missing, right? Location, characters, objects, X's. What else was there? So we're going to have it's going to have something that interacts, some sort of interaction options. And they're going to relate to objects. They're going to relate to exits. Going to relate to characters. What else might we have? Map, maybe. The ability to play music. I think we put cutscene. Trigger random events within a set. Video transitions. Okay. Let's say, I suppose, yeah. So location, what we've been saying is like maybe we'll replace it with some sort of 3D environment. Maybe we won't. That's what we're trying to work out. So what I'd like to do is come up with a GUI system that doesn't necessarily tie into 3D. I just want something that ticks the boxes at the moment. If Callum can come up with a 3D system for this, happy days, and then we will tie that to that 3D system. But what I want to do is think more about all the elements of the UI and what we want to be able to do inside it. And one element of that I think that's massively missing at the moment is combat and so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to create this. What is combat? What are we going to do? How are we going to do it? Let's do a bit of research. Are these computer games or? Yeah, it looks like they are. Well, it's developed in Japan or in the West, the role-playing genre doesn't quite reach the same heights as pure action games with the combat system. See, I'm not taking... So many people want to take this perspective of, you know, writing a game that appeals to as many people as possible or appeals to a particular demographic. I'm just trying to create something that might be fun. That way, we're not locking ourselves into a particular approach. We're just seeing what happens organically. I used to love role-playing games when I was a little kid, so it's been a long time since I've played any. And by role-playing games, I mean like D&D and stuff. See, everything here is very much focused on. It's not the sort of thing I want to do. It's cool, no? First, I was looking for actual RPGs. Let's have a look at Reddit, see what they're saying. Let's have a look at that. The Riddle of Steel. We're not going to do group combat. Well, maybe we will. But it's just you, right? Dear. What would be interesting is that as an alternative. What could we integrate into the decision-based system as well? Dialogue-based games with RPG aspects. Are there any? Dialogue is a major gameplay aspect. Zoom in a bit for you. Maybe it's too much to add combat to this as well. Maybe that's not a good idea. Just thinking more about like what is the crux of the game? What is at the heart of the game? If you're playing, an old school RPG game, half the crux is the sort of stats building, the development of your character, becoming, you want to become as powerful as you can, and the game's intended to balance that, so the enemies become harder as well, and so on. So you get a feeling of progression, but still it remains a challenge. There's some good videos on that. The sort of the line of challenge versus level. Bugs. Kind of really set on this, but the way we're going makes it really hard to do something like this. we should just create something completely scripted. If we weren't going to have combat, what would we do with our user interface? I think I really need to stick to what I'm all right at. I'm not going to say what I'm good at, and focus on not on the UI but the core game. I think as soon as I stepped into this here, it threw me off. I think until we've got a core game working, perhaps I shouldn't be focused on this. It introduces so much so much else to the concept. I think I said it before with one of the other games I worked on. Spent actually 6 years working on the game and spent so much time focused on the graphics that the gameplay was entirely non-existent. Easily done. So let's have a look at our to-do list and see what core stuff we've still yet to do. Core stuff. Having characters move around might add a serious element to the game. So we're going to, I think, let's spend a little bit of time developing out our. So I'll just save this. So we'll just call this GUI. Let's have a look at our characters. So need to worry about all the new stuff we've added. It's all independent, right? We added a tree. I forgot about the tree. Let's kill the tree. Okay. So we have a character. Let's add a character. We shall use Graham as our character who's currently in the living room. So we want some kind of overall timer system, because what we're going to do is we're going to do we want some sort of artificial behavior tree for our AI? I'm not sure we do. I think the way we want to be designing our characters is that they have this life inside. So they're scripted more along the lines of Half-Life, where they're going around their business, doing their thing, using terminals. So maybe we'll have characters with behavior trees at some point. Maybe enemies. Maybe they'll have custom behaviors like following you around. But at the moment, we want this ability for them to sort of follow a schedule. So let's look at creating a global clock. How are we going to do that? So there's a few things actually. I'd like to add a bed because we want the ability for you to skip time. So I'm going to add that in. And the bed is going to have a sleep option. do for now. Let's make sure that's working. Sleep. Doesn't do anything at the moment. What are these zeros we're pumping out? Some sort. I can't remember what we were working on last that was causing that. Something to do with audio, perhaps. What have we got? Spatial, we aren't using. Game script, no. There it is. That should be gone. Yep, nice and clean. Okay, super. Okay, so if we go into our global script, go. So we're going to create two. We're going to have Earth time, and we're going to have Jupiter time. Oh, what crazy maths am I unleashing on myself here? Okay, so we're going to want to increment these, and we're going to want to so I think the idea is, how realistic do we want it to be? I think let's have it fully realistic. I like the idea that the schedules could be quite complicated, or at least detailed. Like, for you to actually be there when someone leaves would be pretty cool. If you've got enough characters, then chances are you will. What's up? Doggy's barking. Don't know what's up with him. So, I've just realized, by the way, that every time my colors mess up with my green screen, if I do that, it solves the problem. Happy days. So, Earth time and Jupiter time. So I did a little bit of research on this already. Found a really cool planetary time converter, is it? Can't remember what it was called. Planetary hours calculator. Nope, I don't think this is it. Maybe it is. What? Yeah, pretty sure that's not what I was looking at. Was it planetary clock project? Hackaday. There we go. A clock for all planets. This is so cool. Quite a lengthy read. But essentially what this guy is saying is, all right, if we needed to create a clock to keep time on all 8 of the planets, how would it work? It's even got wiring diagrams, so I'm not sure if these are real or not. It's pretty detailed stuff. Look at that. So we've got to take into account how many times that planet rotates, how long a rotation around the sun takes, and so on, and its relation to the Earth. Anyway, long story short, we work out the equatorial rotation velocity. We get the mean radius of each of the planets, and now we convert based on the Earth's rotation. We can create this sort of, so we know that the Earth rotates a degree every 4 minutes, or a degree every 240 seconds. which is degrees in a second, 0.004, blah, 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 which is radians in a second to there. And from there, we can calculate, read more, scroll down a bit. You can get the distance each planet travels in its unique second, which is amazing, right? So you can see all the speeds that the planets move around the sun. No, sorry, I think this is rotational, right? I think so. So lastly, I divide the rotational velocity in Earth seconds by the rotational velocity in each planet's seconds. This will give me 1 out of S. Well, the frequency of each planet rotates at. So basically, for an Earth minute, F-min, Jupiter would be 24.78 minutes. So all we're doing there is we're converting it into a time that allows us to work out, essentially map Earth time into Jupiter time. So we got we're using the Julius calendar, right? I think we're using a standard system. So how do I know that these values are correct? I can check because I know the answer to Earth time should be 1 second. It is, but it's not a perfect second. Something else I noticed that Venus is really odd. There's something seriously wrong with that planet. It's so close to the Earth in size, but it spins so slowly. So Venus, that its rotation is extremely slow. I wonder if something crashed into it and messed up its rotation. So let's just add a couple of let's add a little modifier here. So we can say Jupiter second equals what was it? 24 point. Let's paste that in. I'm rounding it up. Don't need that much detail. Right. So that means that we can. That's a Jupiter minute, right? That means Jupiter time is much slower than Earth time. But can we use this? So I think what it means is that we can have our Earth clock ticking away, but our Jupiter time clicks just a little bit each time. I don't know whether it's going to have any gameplay purpose or not, but it's interesting to be able to at least see that sort of, you're rotating around the sun and it's going to take a hell of a longer for that time to pass. I'd also like to know, when it comes to like Jupiter, isn't there like a Google solar system type thing? Let's have a look. Google Sky? Solar system? What I'm looking at here. I'm sure there was a cool. That's cool. There's a cool app I once used a long time ago, which showed the rotation of the planets and so on. Free online model of solar system and night sky. Let's have a look. Oh, my doggy's spooning 2 seconds. hold it right there. Let's get in here. I'm sure we're going to get what we want here. Oh, okay. Wow. It's pretty cool. Nice. If we change the planet we're targeting. Some speed. Which means, yeah. Let's turn off the sound, jeez. Oh, that's bad. Oh, doggy's moaning again. 2 seconds. So Steph was saying that Europa actually spins and faces Jupiter as it spins. So you've got a permanent, well, you're permanently facing Jupiter. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to permanently have the same sort of light settings, because obviously Jupiter is going around the sun as well. Let's speed up a little bit. So heading around the sun here. And I mean, look at Europa go. Those are going to be days and nights. But as I understand it, 24 minutes would be the time that takes for Jupiter to rotate. I wonder what the Europa spin time is. Let's have a look. Europa orbital time period. 85 hours. There we go. Right. Okay, that's interesting. So 85 hours. Let's do that in minutes. 5,100 minutes. Okay. Interesting. So after 5,100 Earth minutes, it will complete a cycle. I don't really care about years. Wonder what it's 5,100 divided by 24.79. Incidentally. Oops. So that's 205 Jupiter minutes in a Jupiter day, right? Is that right? I don't think we actually need to do that then, right? all we need to do is say a day is over after 5,100 minutes. So if you have a 24-hour clock, we're mapping our 24-hour clock to that, essentially. Let's create some clocks. So first of all, Earth time clock. We're going to add that to the process. And so do we have a global process? Don't know if you can. Maybe you can. Super spit out process. I mean test. No, nothing. So is it process or underscore process? Let's just check game. Oh, underscore process. There we go. Let's just take that. Yeah. Okay, so we have a process running. Float, of course, is a delta because it's the time since the last frame. What we want is Godot. Let's have a look at time functions. Let's have a look at the timer. Okay. So we can instantiate a timer on ready, right? Just type in Godot create timer. It's new instance, is it? I don't want to create a node for it. I just want to do it in code. That's cool. Cool. Right. So this is essentially what we want to do in ready, right? That's exactly what we want to do. Although, what happens when it runs out? And so yeah, that's like a one shot. Get ticks, delete that. Right, let's just mess around with this as a starting point. So it's our ready function. So ready function is called when the node enters the scene tree for the first time. So as soon as it's loaded up. So time equals timer new. So we're creating a new timer. The identifier timer isn't declared in the current scope. All right, yeah, so we need to create, let's call it Earth time. And then we add it to our tree. And then we start it. And then we wait for a certain amount of time. And then we're connecting it to itself to time out. That's only going to fire once, but we should get we should see that, right? Don't see anything. Let's have a look at our remote node. That's our timer. Why didn't it run? What is a init? Is that different? Is there even a difference? Oh, clearly. I haven't heard of the init function. We've removed in Godot 4 init. Override initialize instead. Okay. It's good to know, right? Oh, maybe not, because that ain't working. It seems to me that would be the most efficient, but I could be wrong. That's actually emitting a signal. I think we're going to use something like that, because it gives us the option to stick our maths in, right? So, Earth time. Time period. Right now, what is this arbitrary time period? 500 milliseconds. Why? Don't want that. I'm going to create a new one called time. Clear out that. Don't even need a signal. Maybe we do. We'll do that yet though. We'll just do a print out. And we'll print it out. You know what? We'll increment Earth time. Oh yeah, can't do that in this thing. Right, so that should just count up, right? Does that feel like a second here? Does that feel like half a second? It's like half a second to me. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So time period equals 1. Right. Let's compare that to our system clock here. So 10, 14, So we want to hit 20 at 24. Spot on. Yep, okay, so we've got seconds. Fabulous. So now let's incorporate our timer into the GUI for now. So user interface. And we're going to put it. We've got a space for it already, I think. So top overlay. I'm going to put it up there. At the moment, we've got location centered there. So let's stick another label underneath it. What is it hidden? Can't we see it? Oh, because we've got, I think is it main screen container visibility set to, oh, HBox container visibility, nope. One of them is set to not be visible. Anyway, which will just add another location underneath. We can just duplicate location there. Yep, and we'll call that Earth time. Super. We're going to update that value within the process. So now we should do that within the user interface process, right? So should we? Yeah, I think we should. We haven't got a user. Have we got? Yeah, we have got a user interface script. So we're gonna have an update time. We only really want to do it though when. You know what? It's going to be global, is it? G. There we go. Right, so if we go back to our global script, we will pass in a reference to our Earth time. Yeah. Passing our object in. And we're going to then stick the time in there. So whenever we do this, we're going to update. Nope, that's just going to control the timer. We're just literally linking into Earth time here, right? So we don't really want to do that here. So what I'll do is I'll set up a variable called Earth time, and set it to this node. So var on ready Earth time equals, throw that in there. Nope, still never get it. Every time. Expected end of statement, continue. Is it on ready var? Oh god, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember, so I get it every time. There it is. On ready var. Yeah, got it backwards. All right, so we've got a link to our label. Just call it, yeah, time, because we might have a Jupyter time one as well, right? So in our process, we want to get current time. Seems such a waste doing this every round. It's just waste of processor time, but Let's just see if it's changed. That will be, so if earth time not equal to g dot earth time, so if the time has changed and it's earth time dot text, right? And global. So we're saying if this time has changed, then update the screen. So we don't need this G update time. We're just gonna do this. So update the label. Right. Okay. Now, obviously, at the moment, we're just counting up a number. We've not actually got a full time here. Whoop. String and float. Oops. Equals. Is that right? There we go. Houston, we have a timer. Very simple timer. Okay, so now we've actually got to create a real timer. So let's go back into global. So we are going to have earth minutes, earth seconds, and earth hours, right? We'll start off at 8 a.m. The alarm going off, perhaps. So, okay, great. So now we can do our little calculation here. So if time is greater than time period, earth time, see, earth time isn't right anymore. I think earth time's now got to be our, essentially we're just adding to a timer, right? So, which we are, okay, super. So earth seconds, we increment. Earth time is going to become a string at the end. We're going to add it all together. So e seconds plus 1. If e seconds is greater than 59, then e minutes plus equals 1, and e seconds equals 0. And then we've got to do the same thing for minutes and hours, right? It'll be fun to test. And then e hours, 24. So yeah, we are going to need some sort of date system as well, aren't we? Jeez. Okay. I wonder if there's any sort of date, Godot date system. Godot date time functions. Forgot about using modular. It's be the easier way of doing it. However, that's not going to work for dates, so we've actually got to do our own date system, do we? Seriously? What else is there? Okay. I'd like to have a Jupiter date. That would be fun. The interesting thing, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a Mars date, right? So the Mars dates are based on years that we arrived, essentially, when we sent things to Mars. So Mars calendar. So for the purposes of conversation, we use solar longitude, blah, blah, to find Mars years and adopt April 11th, 1955, 0 degrees. That's the beginning of year 1. In this arbitrary convention, the Mariner 9, Viking, Phobos, and Pathfinder missions occurred in years 9 to 10, 12 to 15, 19 to 20, and 23. So it's like they picked a year 1. So for us to pick a year 1 would be pretty cool. So we were the first person born off colony. So maybe we could say it's Earth year 20, Jupiter year 20. Maybe that's how we do it. We don't do a Jupiter time. Then we still got to do days of the week and stuff as well. It's all right. I don't want to get too obsessed with this. It doesn't need to be too crazy. Maybe that doesn't need to be a date. For now, let's not go overboard. Right? We can come back to this. It's pretty cool though. I like the idea of having all this stuff. It's only if it's useful, I suppose. So, okay, so E hours is greater than 24. If E hours is greater than 23, E hours equals 0. And we wouldn't do that, right? We just do that. The rest will work itself out. So now we can print out our time. So Earth time is now going to be a string. Earth time equals E hours plus colon E minutes, E seconds. Super. Comment that out. Now in our user interface, we can just take away the strings now because we're doing a like for like comparison. And have we got a working calendar? Working timer? Nope. Got a little error there. What have we done? Ooh. We've done something so hideous that we've crashed it. Oh boy. Oh, okay. Int and string and operator. Where? Here. Oh, of course. So used to PHP, to be honest. Having to give two hoots about it. Okay, so now we're definitely going to need some kind of okay. So we're going to set up and print hour. So print hour equals that. Print minutes equals that. And print seconds equals that. So we just want to save print h. Let's just do a string length. Is there such a thing? String length print h is greater than 1. Is that going to work? Got assigned to an expression. Oh, of course, yeah. Let's print h. String length. Let's see, Godot. String length. Length. Nope, not length. Is it print h dot length? It's not greater than 1. If it's less than 2, right? Nope. Let's just print that out. Oh, of course. Oh. So now we're doing this. There we go. So we just want to do the same thing with these guys. To create a time function, a time library for this stuff. So print m is greater than print m is minutes. And print s seconds. That should be it. All right. Super. So we'll just call that stream a day, leave this running for the next 24 hours, and see if we end up back at 8 o'clock. Or is there a faster way of doing it? Sure there is. We're going to reduce our timer here. So our constant period, we're going to make it 0.1. Yeah? Yeehaw. It's like we're working. Let's notch it up another notch. Let's go for 0.01. Oh yeah, there we go. But I'd like to see the end of a minute. Here it comes. Does it just do it nice and neatly? It's pretty sexy. I never coded a clock before. That's quite satisfying. Let's go crazy time. Here we go. So we're doing this based on frames now. I don't think we can go any more granular than that. Or can we? No, I think that's as close as we can get. So our minutes are now essentially seconds. Let's just make sure our hour ticks by okay. So I think so the next thing we want is some kind of day count, right? So if a day is, what did we say? A Jupiter day is 5,100 minutes. We could have a little calculator here that shows us whether it's morning, lunch, afternoon, or evening. In terms of the sun, at least, what sort of day do they want to, are they putting themselves on a normal timer as they would on Earth? I would expect so. I guess the question is, what's the use? What's the need? Anyway, seems to be working nicely. It'd be nice to be able to test it a bit better, but well, actually, I can put this on. Restart it. There we go. Minutes. 59. There we go. And we're back. Super. Yep. Looks treat. Okay. So let's wake him up at 7 in the morning. And put our timer back to 0.1. Whoa. 0.1? Oh no, it was literally 1 second, right? Super duper. Nice. Alright. Interesting the way that doesn't appear straight away. What do I've done there? Oh, of course. Yeah, I've got a fade in. But the fade in doesn't include the time at the moment. Okay, so when I spit that out, I could spit out Earth time. Cool. I think that's all I'm going to do tonight. I am absolutely shattered, so I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to check my code in. Try and avoid checking anything to do with 3D, but I'd like to start working on this sort of mechanics a bit more, and less on the AI at the moment until a real concept comes to life. So thanks for watching. If you ever wanted to make a timer in Godot, well, now you know there's a way of doing it. It's probably not the most optimized code in the world, but it does the job. And I should be back tomorrow, 9 p.m. BST. Have a good one.